hot, isn't it? A bit hot. Good morning from Darwin. I am in Australia. Today starts my 5-day tour with Autopia Tours to Kakadu, Litchfield and Katherine National Parks.
After all being picked up separately from our hotel pickup points, we headed out in the Autopia Tours van out into the outback.
So we have all been picked up. I think there's about 8 of us on the tour, and we've headed down the Stewart Highway and the Arnhem Highway. We've gone over Adelaide River and we're just having a much needed coffee break already, which is very nice. The lad behind me on the tour, called Danny, is from Yorkshire. I was like, I detect a Yorkshire accent there. So I've made a friend who's also got a dog, which we love. So we're heading towards Kakadu National Park today. I think we're going on some sort of river cruise this morning. Coffee's definitely needed because my body's still in Sri Lankan time, which is 4.5 hours behind this time. 4 hours? We're not on the right time zone. Okay, so in the car park where we've stopped for coffee, there's a bunch of wallabies. Oh my goodness. They're just like tiny kangaroos. What? Are they rock wallabies? Oh my goodness, look. I think they're rock wallabies, you know. They've got like the little stripe on their face. Hello. Okay, we have come to Corroboree, Billabong, and we're going to go on some sort of cruise over a river somewhere.
No putting your elbows, fingers, camera lenses, nothing. Because crocodiles are not sexist, they're not racist, they don't care. So, if I see from the fingertips to the wrist, go over the side, that's 6-pack. I mean, it's a pub down the road. Fingertips to the elbow, 2 6-packs. Whole arm, or anything like that, that's carton.
Out on the river, we saw lots of birds, including this one that has waterproof wings, so it needs to dry them out like this to get it dry again, and they go fishing under the water, which is why their wings are waterproof. And we also saw a croc. Gotta see a croc in the Northern Territory. This guy, his beak is made of keratin and will peck your eye out. Honestly, the birds in Australia are just something else, but it was beautiful being out on this cruise and being out in nature. Next, we headed back to the service station we were at before for some much needed snacks, and Tim, our excellent tour guide, told us all about the Kakadu National Park and where we were heading next.
We have been heading back on there's a really loud bird. We've been heading back on the Arnhem Highway. I got to ride up front because the gal who was there before wanted to go to sleep. And we're now, it is so warm. We're at the Kakadu National Park, like the entrance of it. We're going to get photos next to the sign.
Some time later.
We have just arrived in camp. So I have like a little safari hut to myself, which is excellent. There's no power in here, but there's power in the kitchen over there, so I think it will be fine. We've just taken everything out of the trailer, put it into the kitchen. It's much nicer here than I thought it would be. Like there's a toilet block with showers, so I'm excited that I'll be able to shower. So I'm just going to put the linen on here, and then we are making some lunch.
So on this tour, the cooking is like participation cooking, where everyone takes part and helps out to make all the meals. So we made lunch and tea for that day, and very excitingly for me, they had lactose-free cheese, and we scranned down these wraps, which were definitely needed after a morning of driving.
The hat is out. It's definitely a look. We are at the Bowali Visitor Centre. We've just had lunch, as you will have seen. Very stuff from that. We're at Bowali Visitor Centre, and apparently there's a 3D map just outside the visitor centre that gives like an overview of the whole national park, which would be nice. It's really warm. I'm struggling to understand how this is winter. I brought literally like extra blankets to wear tonight, and I cannot tell you how hot my tent is.
If you have a chance to go to any of these visitor centres in the Northern Territory, I would highly recommend, because I don't know about you, but I know so little about the First People and the Aboriginal culture. This is not a real snake, by the way, so I would highly recommend visiting.
We have come to a place called Cahill's Crossing, which is named after an English guy, well, a British guy, who was from Queensland and was one of the first crocodile hunters, apparently. So we are here in dry season. Apparently in wet season this would be like not passable, but I think we're looking out for the crocs. Okay, well these are easy to find. Oh hey, Hey.
Later we went to a place called Ubirr that had loads of Aboriginal rock art, and this is one of the reasons it's really good to go with a tour. So Tim, the tour guide, was telling us all about the different rock art and how you might interpret it, and then we headed up a little walk to a beautiful sunset point where we could look out over the whole valley below us.
We have hiked up to a sunset point. Look at this. Oh man, it is absolutely stunning here. It feels like when I was at Lincoln Rock on the Blue Mountains sunset tour. Oh, so beautiful.
We all sat as a group and watched this beautiful sunset over the plains of Northern Territory. The next morning, I was riding up front. I absolutely did not feel well at all. I woke up with an outrageous headache. I think I was dehydrated, still jet lagged, a little bit hyponatremic, so I had some paracetamol, water, and some electrolytes, and I did thankfully feel better again soon.
We are at Jim Falls? I think, yes, Jim Falls it's called. We came on very off-road tracks. It felt like the inland trails on Gari, so a bit of a bumpy journey. I was up front though, as I will have mentioned in the voiceover. So I understand we're going for a walk, and then we've got our swimwear for something to swim in afterwards. So that will be a very nice cool down after the walk. We've got backpacks full of snacks because it's currently like 9:30 and we're not eating lunch till 1 when we're back here. So, and I've also got a 2 litre flask of water.
Anytime we had any hikes on this tour, Tim would teach us about the area and the hike we were going to do so we could do it at our own pace. Danny and I then headed out towards Jim Falls, and there were rocks to scramble over at times, but it was definitely worth it for the views on the way.
Okay, we have made it to Sandy Beach. Apparently those crows nick your food. We were following the arrows, accidentally went the wrong way, so we had to do some like multi-terrain stuff. But it is beautiful here and I'm excited to get in the water. Look at how stunning this is. Oh man, that crow is loud. We have made it back to Carnamar campground, which is where we stopped on the way before turning onto the really bumpy road. So we came back on the really bumpy road again, and we are stopping here for lunch. I think we made a pasta salad yesterday, so we're going to eat that. We have just been to the Warradjan Aboriginal Cultural Centre. I couldn't take any photos or videos in there, which is why there is no content of it. It was absolutely fascinating. So in British schools, I don't know if now, but definitely in the 90s and the noughties, we were not taught about like Aboriginal history or anything like that. So it was just absolutely fascinating to read about it and like the First Nations, and just very, very interesting. I'm wafting about tourist guides that I picked up that I can put in my scrapbook afterwards. If you're in the area, definitely check that out because it is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. We're off somewhere for sunset now, not entirely sure where, but we're off somewhere.
Welcome to Wangai.
In the evening, we headed to another area with some rock art, and here it had some really informative displays and also included the different materials that are used to make the different colours in the rock art. We then headed out to see some more rock art.
We have come to a place called Nawurlandja lookout for sunset, and whilst we can't see the actual sun setting, what you can see is the colour of the sun changing on the rocks in front of us. We are now back at camp, hence the head torch. So, top tip if you're doing this tour, it is real hot in Darwin and the national park. So if you are a person that perspires when you do any form of exercise, you will need to bring a fresh, full outfit for every single day. So I have just been washing a couple of pairs of shorts in the sink because, to put it nicely, they cannot be worn again otherwise. If you have a washing line, bring it with you so you can hang stuff out. I've actually just hung it on like the canopy of like where we eat. But yeah, washing line is a good shout. So the meals on the tour are like, apart from breakfast where you just make your own, are like a group event where everyone helps out. So tonight we are having a barbecue. So I'm not entirely sure what we're having on the barbecue, but things are afoot in there. I think the veggies are getting corn. We're having some sort of burgers. There's a salad being made as well. We have been packing up this morning, so today we are leaving our camp in Kakadu and travelling to Katherine. So we've been sorting the kitchen out. As you've seen, I was sweeping out the safari tent. So here has been a really good campsite, like so much better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I thought we were camping in. So I'm just walking towards the shower block now. So the showers don't look great, but they are very, very powerful. So if you're staying on this Kakadu site, I would recommend going to the third shower along because the others have less water pressure. But the showers are really good, hot and cold water, good water pressure. There are toilets in here. I've never had to wait for either a toilet or a shower. This is good for washing your clothes when you've not brought enough for the sweaty outback. And then there's toilets up here, sinks, showers. So as I say, they don't look the best, but really good water pressure. And then as you can see, Tim, our guide, is doing a very good job of mopping up our kitchen. Our first proper stop of the day is a place called Gunlom Falls, which is apparently been closed for 6 years and only opened last month. So that up there is what we're climbing up. Apparently it's 400 steps, and at the top there is a pool. So those are the plans.
We headed up the 400 steps I was talking about and found the magnificent Gunlom Falls.
Okay, we have made it up to the pools. They are cold, but like nice cold, like refreshing cold. And there's like an infinity pool bit over there. So we're gonna go and check out that view.
Recording credit needs to go to Kerry here, who is filming this beautiful shot of the Gunlom Falls and the view beyond.
So we're leaving the waterfall now. Well, the like water area. It has been so peaceful here. So I just sat looking at the view for ages, just like looking out at the landscape. There were kites flying there. I'm dangerously close to becoming a bird watcher, let me tell you. But it was just beautiful vibes, so serene. Not many people here. If you have a chance to come into Kakadu and come to these falls, I would highly recommend.
A few moments later.
We're currently doing a U-turn in the middle of the road because there's a donkey and Tim really likes donkeys. So we're just doing a U-turn so we can have a look at the donkey again. Oh my goodness, look at him.
It looks nice, it looks well kept.
Hello. Hey little guy. You okay? You having a good day? Oh my goodness.
Alright, so donkeys have a very similar story to buffaloes. They were introduced in the early 19th century, and just like the buffaloes, they found the perfect environment for them here. So buffaloes stay in the floodplains, and donkeys and horses come here to more arid country, stone country and savannas. Oh wow, someone's in a rush. And so they are absolutely beautiful, but they do have a very bad impact on the environment because just like buffaloes, they have very little hooves and a relatively heavy weight. So they're really bad for the soil, but I do forgive them because they're so cute.
We have just landed in Katherine, so on the way like to camp we went to a supermarket and there were so many people. We've spent like 2 full days in the outback. I was not used to it. Anyway, we are in Katherine. We are at our new campground, so this campground's like a bit more basic than the other one. However, the tent setup is not. This is my little humble abode here. I don't have any bedding yet. I've got a doormat. I've got a bedside table. I have lights. I don't know if they work. No, none of the lights work, but I have lights. I have hooks so I can dry things. This is luxury. This is luxury. This is the kitchen setup. It's a massive kitchen. Oh, we've got these really comfy camping chairs. Oh, these are the vibes.
The next morning we were out before 7 AM for a cruise on the Katherine Gorge and it was beautiful.
This morning we are on a boat ride down Katherine River and Katherine Gorge. It is beautiful with like the new morning light. So we've got 2 gorges to go down and then it's kind of like a portage between the 2. So we're just going between that now. Look at that views. So we're going on the portage between the 2 at the moment. And apparently there is some rock art up here as well.
We walked the distance between the two different parts of the gorge, and as the daylight came about, it was beautiful on the rocks. And when we turned around to come back to the first gorge, the morning sun was stunning on this rock face.
We are now back in camp after the gorge cruise, and we have come back to the best sight I have seen all week. Eggs and bacon, yes! Breakfast of champions.
We're here. We want to go to the upper pool. So there's 3 pools. Lower pool here. We've got the middle pool. There's no swimming and no access to this one. And then there's the upper pool, which is the cool one. We want to go up there, meaning we're going to follow that path. On the way there's a little lookout. Not much of a view, unfortunately, because the branches and stuff is really overgrown. But it's still a lookout. And then upper pool. So that means we're going to go that way. And always stick to the right.
As you have seen, we are at Edith Falls. We've had a slow morning this morning after the cruise because I had a splinter that was partly removed yesterday and the rest of it was removed today. It required tweezers, it required a scraper, it required a safety pin, it required 4 pairs of hands. No, 2 pairs of hands, 4 hands total. So that means we're currently walking up a hill at midday with a UV of 11, and we are getting up to some waterfalls where we're going to have a picnic. We are back at camp now. We went to an art gallery on the way back, which was lovely, and the boys have just arrived back. They've been firewood finding, so let's see if they've got anything. Have we had success? Ooh! Oh, I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Oh heck.
Oh, we risked that so bad for this.
Have you had to fight a buffalo for this?
If the wood from yesterday, if I fought 3 buffalo, today was a lot more.
Wow.
If you feel like it's the only way to survive.
Well, it's on.
Wow,
It's not like England.
quickly. I can feel the heat already.
Warm boy.
That's probably.
Don't fall in the fire. Don't fall in the fire.
Wow, there will be a fire.
It is the last morning of camp. I actually slept for 7 hours last night. I'm feeling fresh. Somehow it has become my job to make the coffee in the morning, which I'm not mad about because that means there's always coffee. So I've got myself ready and I'm just waiting for the coffee to be done now.
So we headed out to these termite mounds. So these are magnetic termites. They are not ants. Apparently they can be confused with ants sometimes, but they make these mounds that are all over the field, as you can see here. And when you walk up to them, they are actually really hard to touch. So the one that I'm going up to now, you are allowed to knock on, but it was like solid wood.
We are now at a place called Florence Falls. So there was the option to walk from Bowali Hole, which is below Hole. However, the UV is 12 and I'm very British. So what we have done is driven to Florence Falls car park and there's a few of us just walking straight to the waterfalls now. Apparently the swimming in Litchfield National Park is some of the most beautiful. So I am excited for this, and also it's very, very warm. So extra excited. Oh, look at that. So even though this is the busiest falls we've been to, I can definitely see why. Oh, hey little guy. Hello. We've come back up from the falls. They were absolutely stunning. We have lunch. We've got tablecloth. We've got the classic wraps. I'm ready to eat.
That's gonna get the views.
We are at our final stop of the day. It is Wangai Falls, and it's beautiful to swim in. There's like jungle around as well, but we are heading straight to the beach. Okay, so we need to avoid the crocodiles here. Although saltwater, we're going to freshwater, so very low crocodile risk. Not zero, but very low.
These were more beautiful waterfalls to swim in, and I can confirm there were no crocodiles. I did go in with my linen shirt on though, so that I didn't burn, but I doubt it'll ever be the same colour again. And then before I knew it, we were heading on our road back into Darwin. I had the most amazing time with Autopia Tours on this Outback adventure. Thank you to our fantastic group and also to Tim, our excellent tour guide. I had the most stunning 5 days in the Outback.